physical activity for everyone. I'm Adriana Scurry. I'm the health promotion coordinator with the Rockdale Health Departments, and this is Mary Beth. She is the fax agent for UGA Extension. And we're both here today from Living Well Rockdale, partnering with the Chamber of Commerce to do Stronger Business, Stronger You. So hopefully you've been able to catch us for a couple other things, but today we're really focusing on physical activity. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. I know we have a lot of repeat people. We're doing this once a month, and then we're going to try to poll our repeat customers or even the people who haven't been coming to see what they'd like to see the chamber and us work together to provide to help everyone be a little bit healthier, which helps our own happiness, but also the bottom line of our businesses in a lot of ways. So we like to start things off pretty light, and so we just think this comic is very funny. These are all your muscles and organs kind of talking to each other of just about how hard it is to start being active again in a funny way when you haven't been doing very much. But, yeah, thank you for providing that, Adriana. So the objectives for today are just to kind of learn why activity is important. There's so many different benefits to physical activity, and you don't have to like work up a sweat or need special equipment or need special outfits to reap a lot of those benefits. We're going to talk about different types of activity and how much is needed. We're going to talk about practical ways of fitting in activity in a way that works for you in your actual life. We're going to focus on a little bit about finding joyful movement, because that can kind of be the secret sauce that makes this more doable for everyone. And then we're going to make sure to hit on some ways that you could get some physical activity in at work, as this is a chamber-based, business-based group. So starting off, why do we need physical activity? Why would we spend a whole section talking about this? So you can see we have a nice picture here of all these different things that physical activity does for us in terms of benefits. So it's really like your whole body at once that has advantages when we do things that move our bodies. And so it helps our brains in terms of improving mood, and that can help us feel more relaxed when we're feeling stressed, which I don't know anyone who's not feeling particularly stressed these days, but like work and life typically lead to stress no matter what. And our first session was on stress less, live more. So if you missed that, we do have a recording and we'd love to send that your way. Another kind of brain thing is that it improves your memory. It increases blood flow throughout the body, which allows your mind to work faster. There's a huge slew of diseases that the risk is reduced with consistent physical activity. And it also boosts your energy levels. It's one of those things that when you're already tired, it's hard to believe that exercising and expending energy would give you more energy, but that is actually what happens, and you get better at delivering oxygen and nutrients throughout your body, which helps you just feel better. So that's our kind of picture, but just in list form, if that's more your style. It helps decrease anxiety and depression. It helps you sleep better. It reduces the risk of certain chronic illnesses like cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and some cancers. There's actually 13 different cancers that the research shows the risk can be reduced with physical activity alone. So that's not to say that avid runners will never get cancer. That's not what risk reduction means. But I want to be sure to say that physical activity and the benefit of it is independent of how much you weigh. And so when you're talking about cancer risk and other benefits and cardiovascular disease and things, they're two separate things. So you could still be at a higher weight and reap the benefits of physical activity, or you could get them both in really good places. It also helps strengthen your bones and muscles, which is huge as we age. Our muscles just naturally deteriorate when they're not being used, and it gets harder to keep muscle if we're not getting enough protein and working out our bodies, which makes it harder to stay independent in retirement and things like that. So the things we do now to strengthen those things are very important. It also helps with arthritis. That's another one of those things that's kind of counterintuitive, that people think if my joints hurt, moving them is going to make it worse. But sometimes with consistent work, not to say that someone with arthritis should go run 5 miles or something like that, but kind of getting those joints used to moving has ultimately helpful effects. It helps improve balance and reduce the risk of falls, which ties into that muscle and bone strengthening that we discussed. It helps make everyday activities easier, like how you have to lug things in and out of your car or pick up children or chase grandchildren or whatever it might be. And then it also helps with weight management and weight loss. So we still have to talk about food if you want to really focus on weight management and weight loss. But if you add in consistent activity, that can kind of be the secret sauce, especially around the holidays and things where we might be eating a little bit more than we would be. We can offset that slightly with physical activity.
Definitely. And real quick, Mary Beth, I just wanted to say that weight management and weight loss, we put that at the very bottom, right? Because there are so many other reasons to be active, you know, whether or not you're looking to lose weight, whether or not you're looking to gain weight, activity is always, always, always such an awesome thing.
That is such a good, thank you for bringing that to the forefront, because it's just one of those things that people really think the main motivator for activity is to fit in these jeans or look good at my daughter's wedding or whatever it might be. And that's just very short-sighted and leaves out so many of the good things that it can bring to our lives. But if that's your reason for wanting to exercise, that is okay too. We just want to talk about the whole picture. So we wanted to discuss how there are different types of activity, and we like to use the word activity, physical activity, more than exercise, because physical activity is more all-encompassing of your real life, of how vacuuming and gardening and grocery shopping and watching the kids, you're being physically active, you're moving your body in those activities, and we don't want to discount those, how that works for our body. That does count. And so there's one main class of physical activity is called aerobic activity or aerobics. And so a lot of people refer to that as cardio. That's a lot more in than talking about aerobics or sweating to the oldies or whatever anymore. But by definition, that's going to increase your heart rate and often has you breathing harder. And then how that works physiologically is that your heart gets stronger because it's getting more used to beating faster. So it's getting better at pumping blood throughout your body to all your muscles, all your extremities, all throughout there. And so that's the main focus, or the main muscle being worked in these activities would be your heart. And so moderate or intensity aerobic activity would be things like walking, water aerobics, mowing the lawn. And then a more vigorous intensity would be jogging, playing tennis or playing basketball or soccer, one of those things where your body is consistently moving at a pretty high speed, or you have stops and starts in terms of sprinting. That's more of a vigorous intensity. And then the second big class of activity is our muscle strengthening activity. Some people just call them strength exercises or weight-based exercises. But the main focus there is working on your major muscle groups. And you don't have to do them all at once. Some people prefer to do full body workouts. Some people like to do different things on different days. But things that specifically work your legs or your arms or your abs or your chest or your glutes or your hips or your back, those are all muscle strengthening activities. And it doesn't take much for you to see that if you strengthen your back muscles through exercise or physical activity, that's going to help you as you have to lift things. Like, it's the benefits in your whole life have to do with all of your body systems working well. Those muscle strengthening activities are going to cause your muscles to contract and then relax through the different repetitions or reps that you might be doing. And so it can be weightlifting. That's kind of one of the more traditional ways that people think about it, but you can also use resistance bands. So they're kind of a stretchy plastic, and they don't weigh, they weigh like virtually nothing, and they're very easy to pack. So if you travel a lot or you just want to sneak it in your desk drawer, a resistance band is a great way to get weight-based or muscle-based exercises on the go. You can do body weight exercises. If you like to do squats or push-ups or whatever, that's using the weight that you carry around all day, every day to strengthen those muscles. But things like gardening or yoga also count too. If you think about you're contracting your muscles during yoga, so you don't have to like sweat necessarily, but you can to be doing muscle strengthening activity.
That's
so
huge.
How much activity, did you want to add something, Adriana?
Real quick, I did. I just want to make sure that, when we talk about muscle strengthening activities, I feel a lot of times, especially as a woman, and talking to other women, I hear a lot of people talking about like, well, I don't want to bulk up. I'm afraid of bulking up. I mean, you've got to lift like 40 something, 50 something big old pounds if you want to bulk up, It's good to always just work on that strength, and you'll still, your body will still be your body. It'll just have strength in it. That's all, just that body weight, that resistance, those light weights, that's all we really need.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much. So the physical activity guidelines for Americans are kind of like, it's kind of like the food guidelines too. We have two different ones, and this talks about how they want you to get 150 minutes a week of physical activity of moderate intensity as an adult. So this isn't for youth. Youth actually need more. But the way that I like to think about that is if I go on a decent walk for 30 minutes, 5 days a week, I've got that covered. And the way that you know if it's moderate intensity, that we do something called the talk test, where if I could talk, I could still be talking to Adriana while walking, but I don't want to sing her a song. I can't belt out a show tune or Beyonce or whatever it is. Like if I can't talk, then that's definitely like a vigorous activity, and I might have to think about if I'm actually exerting myself too much. But if I still had enough breath to sing a song, really project or something like that, then that leads me to believe that I probably need to pick up the pace a little bit. It's more of a leisurely stroll than like a walk for exercise. And they would really like to see us do muscle strengthening activities at least 2 days a week. So what I want you to notice is that it is not saying go to the gym every day for an hour. That's not what it's saying. And a lot of people think if I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to work out, I'm going to go whole hog, and that's what I'm going to do. And that ultimately, for most people, can only be held up for a week or two, and you might even hurt yourself. And so you want to really look at how much effort, you want to be exerting effort, but not in such a way that it's torturous or painful. The whole no pain, no gain thing is a lie. And that's going to put you in way more trouble because it can be uncomfortable because it's something you haven't done, but it shouldn't hurt. That's a big red flag. Is there anything you want to add to that, Adriana?
Oh, just that happens. And I know I've done it where, I've had a New Year's resolution where I've been like, let's work out every single day this week, 7 days. And, oh no, it's not sustainable. So it's definitely all about little things all adding up throughout the weeks.
Yeah, and you don't get that messaging from social media challenges or all these different things. A lot of them are like 30 days straight or 90 days straight. And if you're under the direction of a medical professional or something, then maybe, but some random person on the internet should not be enough to convince you that you have to go to the gym for 60 minutes every day.
No.
Okay. So I want to get into some of the tips that we have for fitting it into your actual busy life. And so our favorite tip is really to break it into chunks and start small. So if you are not exercising or being active really at all in your life, you want to start with manageable chunks. And so maybe it's not that you don't feel capable, it's more that you just can't find the time. And so starting to find 5-minute pockets, maybe you park your car at the office and you walk in the parking lot for 5 minutes real quick. Or before you eat your lunch, because we all know that like microwave minutes are the longest minutes in the world. Maybe you take a little 5-minute stroll while your 2 minutes in the microwave is going on. Or if you have a frozen meal, that is typically 5 minutes it takes at least. One way to do that. Another way is a challenge that I saw at the beginning of this year that I was doing pretty consistently called 20 in 2020, meaning that your goal was to walk for 20 minutes every day in 2020. And that could be all at once, or it could be 10 minutes, or it could 10 minutes twice a day, or it could be longer than that. But I want you to think about how if you set manageable goals and you meet them, you have the freedom to walk longer than 20 minutes, but it's not such a high goal that you're likely to miss it just as often as you make it. And that's kind of demoralizing and makes it really hard to keep it up consistently. So really trying to get a lower bar that is still, you're going to have to try. It's easy to let the whole day go by with no moving at all. And if you use your phone for steps, or you have like a smartwatch or something, sometimes it's like you've only walked like 900 steps, especially if you're still working from home or different things. And so it's one of those things that we just kind of want to raise awareness of and move a little bit more than we are right now. Okay. What am I doing? Trying to get to the next slide, that's not going. Okay. Another tip is to think about what you need. What sounds better? If you live with kids or you have roommates or partners or whatever, think about what sounds better. Would a walk alone to clear your head and be some you time be really motivating to you? Or do you want to do something where you're not, you're joining with a fun activity like a family dance party in the kitchen or the living room, or a family bike ride or something like that? it's up to you what is going to be doable and what's going to give your body and your soul what it needs. And it could be different things at different times. Sometimes I want to walk by myself, and sometimes I want to meet up with a friend and really have that be my social time, or I want to like have a dance party with my sister or whatever it is. We are complicated beings, and different things are better at different times. And we kind of touched on this, but just sneaking activity in throughout the day or developing kind of an active mindset is really good. So thinking of ways to incorporate a little bit more activity throughout your day, whether you're pacing during phone calls, doing like calf raises while you're brushing your teeth or something, parking a little further away, setting alarms for 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. is actually how I did the 20 in 2020. So even if I don't go right at 10, it popped up and it's in my mind. So maybe it would be like 2:30 and I was like, I didn't take a full lunch. I'm going to go on like a 20-minute walk in the parking lot or on one of the trails in Rockdale, because my office is right on one of them. So just things that you can do to bring that, like, oh, I did want to do that for my body. I did want to do that for myself today. Just getting it in and helping you remind yourself is really helpful. And then just another thing to think about is thinking about the weekend versus the weekday. A lot of us, our week does not look the same every single day. And so maybe during the week, you're really good about meal planning and getting your workouts in and whatever. And then on the weekend, you just kind of really want to relax and chill and do very minimal things, maybe like one walk because you like listening to a podcast or listening to music or meeting up with a friend on like a walk throughout the neighborhood. Or maybe you're just like go, go, go grinding with work during the week. And then you love to play tennis, or you like to climb Stone Mountain, or you like to canoe or something like that. Sometimes we have people who are a lot more active on the weekends and during the week. And sometimes we have people who go really hard and work out during the week and then do nothing on the weekend. And some people are in between. So just getting to know yourself and your personality and your schedule will help you make a plan that works for you in that.
Definitely. Are you a weekend exerciser or a weekday exerciser?
If I'm not working late, I think I'm more of a weekday exerciser, but I'm not a morning exerciser unless it's like a stroll. I can tell you that much.
Yes, I love a good Saturday morning workout, Sunday morning workout before church. But if you want me to exercise in the morning on a Tuesday, no.
Okay, take it away, Adriana.
All right. So now we're going to talk about finding joyful movement, right? So when I'm talking about joyful movement, I mean, like really having joy when you're moving your body. Exercise gets this connotation, and I mean, I think about it sometimes this way too, about this connotation of being something that you have to do, that you dread. It means that you go to the gym with a bunch of people that are, they're really working hard. So, and that's great. And I think that those people find joy there, but that's not where I find my joy. So I have to do different things for joyful movement. So go ahead, Mary Beth. All right. So when we're talking about joyful movement, if you're not enjoying that exercise, you're not really going to be consistent with it. So we've all tried to, go to the gym and run on that treadmill and, maybe you love it, but I don't love it. And I won't do it after a while. I'll be like, oh no. And then I feel bad because I didn't do something that I said I was going to do. But we don't have a lot of free time, we go to work, we cook, we have families, we have outside commitments, we have things to do and sometimes Netflix to watch. And it's a shame to not do the things that you love instead. You don't want to spend all your time being upset. So moving your body should really be a source of healing, right? We talked about all of those great benefits for movement. You should feel healing, you should feel health, you should feel excitement, not something that you like dread. So we really want to talk about ways. We're going to brainstorm in a little bit. I'm going to have you guys think about, some things that, bring you joy when you move. But it's also really important to instill in your kids. You want to celebrate what your body can do instead of thinking about the things that your body doesn't do, or maybe the way that your body doesn't look. You want to think about all of the wonderful movement that you can do. You can dance, you can jog, you can squat, you can lift up your kids, you can go up and down the stairs, like all of those little things that we take for granted. Our body is moving and we have to celebrate that. So a couple of tips that we've got for joyful movement.
Oh no. Okay.
Is to get a currently socially distanced buddy to be active together. I mean, you support each other. Having somebody that, you know, knows that you're working out, knows that, you know, you want to try to be active, you can support each other through that. You know, you can make behavior agreements like, okay, every Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to take a walk after work, right? So go with the coworker or go with friends. So I love this idea of brunch and walk, right? So you go get brunch and then you go for a walk, or maybe, you know, you do something different. So you see your friends and it doesn't matter what you do because you're together. And while you walk, you can talk, you know, not too much, you can't sing, but you can talk, and, you know, you can always find someone and try something new. One of the things that I like to do is, and Mary Beth, I know she does it too, we'll go on walks in our respective neighborhoods and talk on the phone. And it is great. It is absolutely great because then you get to talk to a close friend or maybe a family member that you haven't talked to in a while you're getting your exercise in. And sometimes you have to be like, whew, I'm walking up a hill, but like, you know, it's fine. Just let them know. They'll be okay with it.
Yeah, and sometimes, especially now, like if in the age of YouTube and stuff, where you can find a plan and you can say, did you do the this, and this yet?
Yes.
Or like, I really like this song, and you send it to each other. And I find that a lot of times we dread that movement longer than it would take to actually do the movement. And so having a friend who you already have decided, like, you're going to tell me to go do it anyway, and I'm going to try to listen to you, and I'm not going to get mad when you do that. It's hard to overestimate like how powerful that can be if you have that relationship with someone who's also trying to be healthy. And if you're trying to be healthier and the people you live with are not, this person is going to be a huge lifeline to help you keep going, because it is very hard if you are trying to be healthier than the people that you live and work with.
Definitely. Okay, so we also don't want to get bored, right? I'll be the first to admit that I get bored super duper easily, right? So we can talk about adding variety. What kind of variety can we do? What are some different types of exercise that we can do? I'm going to ask you guys to give me some ideas in the chat, and then we'll come back to that, okay? But to talk about doing exercise in a different place, right? So maybe going to a new park, or going to Stone Mountain, or maybe just walking outside of your neighborhood to the neighborhood that's next door. Just going that little difference. You see something totally new, right? We talked about being social, so, you know, doing things in a group or different things. So we can always do individuals, and that's always fun, but group exercise, when it's not a pandemic, is phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of group exercise, whether it be taking a class or going on jogs with friends, different things like that. Also, making it fun is so important. I am the biggest proponent of the concept of dance as exercise. So it makes it lots and lots of fun. Ooh, okay, I like this. Variety could be biking or hiking or yoga or doing a fitness Marshall video. I love that. Those are some really fun dance videos, like you can dance to Beyonce. I like that you like to listen to Pandora and dance when a fun song comes on. So that's how we make it fun. That's how we get that variety, right? And you can do that while you're doing something else. Like while you're washing dishes, I tend to dance a little bit, you know, or vacuuming. Yes, you did had some too. I love that, having dance parties while doing the dishes, making it fun, right? And then finally challenging yourself, you know, ask, what else could you do? You know, you can maybe, I've always walked, right? But maybe I want to try to walk some extra time and make it to walking through a whole 5K. Right? Maybe challenge myself to do something different, challenging myself to do something a little harder, and enjoying myself throughout that, right? So those are really great ways to to prevent boredom. Oh, Gail said that she participated in an outdoor fitness class on Tuesday. I like that. Thanks, Gail. And you walk about three times per week with a group. So see, that makes sense. And we love it. We're social beings, right? So it really helps. I love that, Gail. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you guys to brainstorm, okay? And I'm also going to tell you something a little bit embarrassing. So we're going to brainstorm some joyful movement, okay? We're going to think about what you enjoyed as a child, what you enjoyed as a young adult, okay? You know, so I just want you to kind of think about the types of movement that you did. Like, were you in a basketball intramural thing where you enjoyed yourself? Did you love swimming in the pool when you were a kid? Did you like dance classes? Were you like me and you loved roller skating and different things like this, right? So we're going to try to brainstorm some joyful movement. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to kind of put some stuff in the chat surrounding it, but we're going to look at this and see about bringing that joy to our lives as adults, so different things like that. Also think about things about vacation, right? On vacation, I don't know about y'all, but my Fitbit is like 14,000 steps, 18,000 steps, and my Fitbit on a rainy day here at home is like 3,000. So, you have to think about, what you do on vacation, like walking around a new city or swimming, all kinds of stuff. Okay, awesome. We've got softball, swim team, cheerleading, playing outside until dark. Yes. Yoga for strength building, as well as relaxing your mind. That's what brings you joy, Laura. That brings me a lot of joy too. Yes, you just have to relax your brain some days. Riding your bike around the neighborhood. Definitely. So if you loved riding a bike, maybe this is the time to invest in a bicycle as an adult, right? Or if you loved playing softball, maybe trying to find, some other people in your family, and just getting a softball together and just throwing it around, or, swimming outside in the pool. Well, it's cold now, so we won't go swimming. Don't swim outside. But maybe going to the Y once it's open, or cheerleading. So that means just dance, right? Enjoy. Maybe get the game Just Dance and playing it with family or playing it with a friend. Lawn games, we love that, right? So maybe just like having fun, getting some chalk, getting some some hula hoops, easy exercise. Riding your bike around the farm, lots of activity outside until dark. Oh, I love that. And that was when we had fun, right? We had so much fun. And now when I think about dark, I'm already inside and I shouldn't be. I can play outside until it's dark. So definitely, go outside, enjoy it. Maybe hula hoop, ride your bike if you have a bike as an adult, definitely. It seems interesting how easy it seems to exercise when you are on vacation. Yes, Stephanie, it does. So we've got to maybe find something, right? So I walk around, if I go to a new city, that's a big thing. So I'm like, oh, I have to see this, and I have to see this, and I have to see this. So maybe making a little tiny tour of your own city, right? Like, maybe I have to walk by and see 3 open storefronts, and I have to see, a child playing outside, making a nice little scavenger hunt for yourself, in your own town. Or doing, if you love to dance or cheerlead, doing dance videos on YouTube, trying different things. I'm excited. I feel like you guys
had an idea too.
You did?
Since we're all spending so much more time at home, I realized I have a lot of like toys, like physical activity toys that you guys might have or might decide to incorporate. So like my husband and I, we have a ping pong table in the garage. I had one as a kid. We got one for his birthday last year. We have cornhole. We have croquet. I have a badminton net. So like all the things that I did as a teenager, I can still do as an adult. And so those things aren't that much, especially when like we might not get to do full-blown tailgates. Why not do those same active kind of tailgating activities that we might do in our own yard?
I love that. Making an outdoor tailgate. That sounds great. And then Laura says that we walk around the hospital to get to the other side of the building instead of going through the inside, which is the quicker way. That's nice. And then you get the sunshine too. I love it. Great idea, Laura. And we're actually about to get right into that. So we're about to talk about physical activity at work, right? So physical activity at work seems sometimes like it's tough, but Laura's got the right idea, right? Just doing tiny little things. So wear comfortable shoes. So wear sneakers, things that encourage you to stand or walk more. Or if you're like me and you love your cute shoes, I've got my sneakers right under my desk because I like my cute shoes. I like my heels and I'm not going to give them up. But I always have my sneakers under my desk for a quick walk or, right around the building. So start small, right? So maybe walk briskly to the copier or take the long way to go refill your water bottle or go get more coffee. Maybe schedule a walking meeting, so instead of having to sit and be on Zoom with everyone, maybe take everybody outside, right? Everybody can, walk around the building outside in the open air. Park a few spots further away. It's so surprising how much extra exercise you get if you park on the other side of the building. But make sure it's not going to rain that day, though. Just double check. And then just stand for a few minutes. Just during like a couple of times an hour, we want to make sure that we're moving, right? Stand during phone calls or, little Zoom breaks, all kinds of things. We just want to get up, right? So especially if you don't have your camera on, you can you could be standing during this whole meeting. We wouldn't even know. So aim to move about 5 minutes every hour. So take the long route to the bathroom, to the water fountain, pace during your phone calls or your Zoom calls. And honestly, if you're stressed, this is the best thing you can do. You can just take a 5 or 10 minute walk, right? So just get away from it for a minute, do some different things, and your mindset honestly will help calm down. It'll start to be okay. Everything will kind of allow us to breathe. You can also do all kinds of different exercises at your desk, right? So you can do tricep dips in your chair. You can do calf raises standing up. You can do different chair exercises, which we're about to do. Mary Beth has her resistance bands. I have underneath here, I've got my whole big old ball. So, we all have different things, right? But those resistance bands, you can get at Target for like $3. Super duper easy to get, or just go online, and we're going to give you guys some different walking videos and, at desk yoga videos that, you can have that are like 2 minutes or like 15 minutes, all kinds of different things.
If you want to get fancy, they do have those like desk pedals and like under the desk treadmills, but I have not indulged in that. If that sounds amazing to you and you think you'd use it, go for it. But that's definitely a little bit pricier than these, but the pedals aren't so bad, are they? You can get those for like $40, right?
Yeah, I think the pedals I have, I think I only paid $35 for them. And then depending on where you work, you can always talk to them about, things that you can share, different things for the business as well. So that's huge. Also stretching, just taking a minute, and after typing, just taking a minute to just stretch is always great. Always, always great. All right, so the resources are out there, and it's always kind of like, oh, well, I don't have time. I promise you've got a couple of minutes, and I try to remind myself like, oh, I'm not working right now, but I'm also on Instagram, and I don't need to be on Instagram. So maybe I'm going to stand up and I'm going to walk in place. So that's in that, have that be my something, or maybe walk in place and look at Instagram. We don't know. Who knows? But the resources are there. So, maybe walking in place, maybe using like a walk away the pounds, like a video. It's 1 mile in 15 minutes and you're walking at a good pace, but you can still talk. There are all kinds of exercises, office workouts that are already listed, things like that. Resistance band exercises for beginners. We're gonna send you guys some desk yoga that's like 5 minutes of just stretching at your desk. I love this. It gives you some ideas about different desk exercises to do based on how difficult it is, how sweaty you get, because you don't want to get sweaty at work, and how humiliating it is, which is always something,
Yeah,
I don't mind what they look at me.
It's so funny it's because they're animated. Like you see these people in their work clothes going like this. So
it's delightful. You'll get a kick out of it, and some good ideas. All right, so while we're sitting at our desk, we're gonna do some intro to desk stretching, okay? So please excuse me while I lower this. All right, so what we're gonna do first is we're going to roll our shoulders back, right? So we're gonna roll, roll, roll. All right, now switch, roll those shoulders forward, right? We've been sitting, we've been typing, maybe we have a grant due, who knows? Give it a little wiggle, give it a little wiggle. All right, now we're gonna take our arms, we're gonna keep them flat, and then we're gonna roll those wrists. Roll your wrists. Take them the other way. Roll your wrist the other way. Then we're gonna take our wrist, we're gonna go over the head once, and stretch to one side. You should feel it down this side. And we're gonna move to the other side. Lean to the other side gently. Feel it on this side of the body. Whew, there we go. That feels nice. We're gonna shake that out a little bit. And then, I'll be honest with you, sometimes what I do is I do little in-desk workouts. So I'm sitting down, right? But I'm gonna march my feet in place, right? I'm gonna march my feet in place. I'm still sitting, I'm giving it a little walk. Maybe I'm watching something for continuing ed, right? So I've got this thing, they sent it to us about IT, so I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna walk, gonna move my legs, right? Or maybe I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna put my arms out at 90 degrees and I'm gonna move them out like this, right? Nice and slow. So we're gonna work those chest muscles. There we go. So we can do that. And I mean, I don't know if you feel this right now, but you can feel this working without any weight, right? So we don't need that. Sometimes weight is great, right? But I don't need weight while I'm at work. So I leave that alone. So you can always do nice little arm circles. So if you can see me moving from the side, make sure you don't hit your cube mate, but you do nice little arm circles. You go backwards. Yes. I love it, I love it, I love it. And then, so what I'm gonna say now that you can try to do is, while we keep marching in place, we're gonna try to go sideways while we still sit down, right? So we're gonna take our right leg, we're gonna go out. So right leg out, left leg out. So you'll see right leg out, left leg out. Right leg out, left leg out. Boom, boom, boom. My arms are going too. We get a nice little desk exercise. Our heart rate's going up. And we didn't even have to stand up on this rainy day, guys. Yes, our heart rate goes up. We don't have to do much when it's all icky outside. We still get our steps in while we're doing whatever we have to do. We can do that during a Zoom meeting if our cameras aren't on, and maybe if our cameras are on. Thank you, Laura. So awesome, awesome. So if you guys need any help with desk exercises, I am always here to give you some ideas, some questions. You know, we have sent some stuff as well through Mary Beth sent out a link earlier. So there's going to be all kinds of stuff. Woo, really got my heart rate up. It does. It really does. It doesn't.
Fear exercises are what we do with seniors, and it's like we're in pretty good shape, and we still feel like we did something. Like they are not.
Yes. Yes, it's all about how much you do, right? It's all about how much you do. All right, Mary Beth, take it away.
Sure. So I just stuck the our little evaluations, the same evaluation that we've done every time. We try to keep the questions simple, but we're talking about this class period. And so if you fill that out, by next week, we will do, we'll pull 3 random names, and we're probably going to do like water bottles and maybe a resistance band as your prize. So we'll have 3 prize winners from this session, but we want to either let us know that you finished it if you forget, or if you can stick your email in the last question. The last open-ended question is, how would you summarize your experience in the program in 1 sentence? And you can just add your name in there and we'll be able to see that. I did send some handouts, and so let me show you the handouts if I can work on my sharing. If you didn't see these yet, we try to make it like all around good for you, so you have the conversation, but you also have some things to look back at. So this is from the American Heart Association. It talks about how much physical activity you need, so that 150 minutes that we talked about. We have the Fit Facts. So this is from the American Council on Exercise. So there's 35 different ways to increase your physical activity. Slow and steady wins the race with getting a little bit more in for consistency. You can see, let's see. take a walk on your lunch break, turn on the music and dance around the house, keep hand weights at your desk, do bicep and tricep exercises while on phone calls, and you can take it or leave it, whatever works for you. Do a few squats while brushing your teeth, do squats or lunges while waiting for your food to cook in the microwave, etc. This is one about being an active family, which we really like. I'm actually giving a whole session at Rockdale County Public Schools Parent Academy on being a fit family this Saturday. So if you're a school parent, please join us for that. And it's one of those things where if you celebrate what your body can do, you don't have to worry about your kids getting all that diet culture message sometime if you really work on being active together. This is some tips. I'm not sure why it's all not loading, but you'll be able to see it on yours, getting into working out and how to make it a consistent thing that you do. We have some infographics about, why'd you get so small? We'll do 75%. Okay. Sorry, guys. Screen sharing is hard. It got confusing when I had one horizontal page, but this is about physical activity recommendations for kids. So they're actually supposed to get 60 minutes a day. So if you're a parent or you know some parents, try to share some of these activities with them, because if they're sitting on their computer all day, they are not getting those 60 minutes. A lot of sports are canceled. They're not getting them. So getting those chunks in and exercising together is going to be really helpful for all of you. This is just another, if you're a visual person, another way of looking at those 150 minutes a week from the American Heart Association. And it talks about for lowering blood pressure and cholesterol, what you might want to do. This is a printable about office exercises for your whole body, legs, eyes, back, etc. This is actually from Australia.
Nice.
And then this is my favorite, but we'll send you the link to the website as well. It's a one-pager that you can print bigger than 8.5 by 11 about a workout at work. And it has those hilarious scales of how difficult is it, how sweaty will I get, and how humiliating is it. And it is up to you what your humiliation tolerance is at work or how private your office is. And then last but not least, it is getting cold, and some of us down in the South don't like doing things when it's cold. So if you want to kind of have some tips and tricks for how you can exercise even when it's not 80 degrees outside, this is really helpful. And they have another one for when it's hot too. So that's a different conversation for a different day of how you don't fall out with going on walks and runs outside. But insulating and wearing the right clothing makes a huge, huge difference. So that's what we had for you. I will send a follow-up email. And if you have any questions for us, we're here for it. And otherwise, our last class that is scheduled so far is on October 22nd.
Yes.
And it will be about mindful eating. So that's really a buzz topic for people. And it's all about how you can enjoy your food more without having to deprive yourself. And so we'd love for you to come. If you haven't heard of mindful eating, it can be really life-changing. It might be a little bit hokey, but it doesn't have to be. So we hope to see you there. And you spread the word, and we'll send you the link to the recording so you can share it with your friends or family or colleagues, whether they live in Rockdale or not, who might benefit from this. Thank you guys for coming. We had a great time.
Thank you so much for coming out, and send us any questions that you guys have too. Have a great one.